I think my water just broke. I'm pretty sure the baby is coming, so I'm gonna head to the hospital. If you think you can make it, come by, okay?
Gotcha. I'll be sure to go if I can make it. Huh? Caroline? You're not home. Where are you right now? Did you go somewhere? Oh, you're at the hospital. You're not done yet? I don't have any food. If you didn't get anything ready for me, can you at least warn me ahead of time? Hello? It's to Caroline. What am I supposed to do? Can I take a bath and go to sleep?
The baby is born. Do you understand?
Oh, really? When are you gonna be coming home?
Uh-huh.
You won't be making it home today? Actually, let's get back on the topic of food. You should have warned me about it. If you had told me that you didn't cook anything, I would have bought something and brought it home.
What are you talking about? When are you planning on coming to the hospital?
What? Why would I?
I told you this morning I'm about to have a baby, so I'm going to the hospital. So when the baby is born, I wanted you to come by the hospital.
Oh yeah, you totally did say something like that, didn't you? My bad. I finished work on time for the first time in a while, so I just came straight home. But dinner wasn't ready or anything, so it was actually one of the worst experiences of my life. But I ordered some food, you know? I was too lazy to leave the house.
So
Huh?
when are you coming?
What do you mean, when?
When are you going to come look at your child?
I'll go tomorrow if I can. You should still be at the hospital tomorrow, right? Oh man, that means you can't cook me any lunch tomorrow. Can you hurry up and get out of the hospital? When are you gonna be discharged?
Are you being serious right now? You got off work on time and you didn't come to the hospital still?
Just because I go there doesn't mean that I can do anything for you, you know? But I'm glad that everything worked out. Hooray! Right?
No, not everything worked out.
Huh?
The doctors had to perform a C-section. It was a huge thing.
Really? But you're okay now, right?
Yeah, I'm all right, but it was seriously a lot of trouble. It's going to hurt for a while, too. I think I'm going to be in the hospital for another week or so.
Seriously? What the hell am I supposed to eat for the time being?
What?
Who's gonna prepare my food? You know, lunch? If I don't have your homemade lunches, then I have to spend money every day. That's even if I go to the company lunchroom, you know?
Are you messing with me right now? I finally was able to calm down enough to take a breather. I just gave birth to our child. And it was my first child to boot. I'm pretty shocked right now. Because they had to cut open my stomach. It actually really hurt. But you, the husband, are worried about what? Not your wife's condition, not your child's condition. You're literally concerned about your food.
Of course I'm worried, sweetie. But you're fine now, right? I'm glad to hear you're okay. So now my worry is really who's gonna pay for my meals. I kinda went a little crazy today, too. I ordered a little too much on the deliveries. I have extra pizzas, too. Do you want me to bring you some tomorrow?
I don't believe it. Do you not have any love for me? You should be hauling your ass to the hospital right now. No, actually, it's a little too late for that. A normal human being would be going as soon as he was done working.
I didn't really consider that as an option, to be honest.
Why the hell not? Even when I was pregnant, you never gave a crap about how I felt or anything. When I was really sick and suffering from morning sickness, you still asked me to cook for you. It was literally the month that I was going to be giving birth and you complained that I didn't clean well enough. You really didn't think about me or my well-being at all. I thought that maybe the child being born would make you change a little bit, but I really didn't expect that. Even after the baby was born, you wouldn't even show up to the hospital. I never could have imagined how terrible you'd be.
I'll go tomorrow. Don't be so angry.
I'm beyond just being angry. I've actually lost all hope in you. You literally only think about your own meal. What about your own daughter? You don't care about her?
Of course I care about her. Just calm down, okay?
I have some things I need from the house. Can you just bring them to me? Actually, you literally have the car right now. Why aren't you literally flying over to be here?
I kind of already had a few drinks, so I can't really drive. I'll go tomorrow, seriously. You have to work, I promise.
So I was suffering in the hospital while you were off drinking and enjoying yourself? I don't believe it. My parents are also starting to worry that you're taking too long now.
Huh? Wait a minute, your parents are there? Why didn't you hurry up and say that first thing?
Huh? I'm going to tell them soon why you're not here yet.
Wait, hang on, don't do that, please. You're seriously gonna make me look bad?
How you said that you don't think you needed to be here. All you think about is your own food and what to eat. I'll tell them about how you drank and got ready to go to bed. That'll be nice.
Wait, seriously, hang on. I'm gonna get ready now and head over.
No, that's okay. I don't even want to see you, even if you do come.
Why? Don't be like that, Caroline.
I'm considering getting divorced from you.
What? What are you talking about?
I'm talking about it to my mom and seeing what she says now.
Hang on a second. You can't tell your parents.
I know you don't want me to tell them. You're currently employed in my grandpa's subsidiary company. My grandpa seriously loves me. I mean, he loves to take care of me. I'm sure if and when he finds out, he won't just let it go.
But the president is in another state, right? Where the headquarters is located.
Yeah, that's true. My mom and dad are also normally over there too. But they knew that I was going to give birth, so they came by to see me.
I didn't know that.
I literally told you. Maybe you weren't listening to me, though.
Just please, hang on. I'm really sorry. Please don't tell your parents. I will head over right away on a taxi or something.
It's too late for that.
Huh?
I already told them about you.
Wait, hang on. This is all a big misunderstanding. I keep getting phone calls. I think it's my dad.
I'm sure he just wants to have a word with you. Why don't you answer the phone?
I can't answer the phone. I know he's gonna chew my ass out. Tell him that I'm on the way to the hospital right now.
On the way to which hospital? I don't think you even know where I am. Which hospital am I at right now, Joe?
I mean, yeah, but just tell me where you are.
I've been telling you every day for a long time now. You just look at your stupid phone all day. You never listen to a word I have to say.
I'm sorry. I said I'll head over right now.
It's too late for that. You haven't even asked for any pictures of your daughter. Not a single peep about her. I really understand now. You don't give a shit about us at all.
That's not true. I just don't have any realization that I'm a father now. I can't just suddenly turn a switch on and be dad mode.
The problem with all of that is that if you're not interested in us now, you're probably never going to be interested in us. So I don't want anything to do with you anymore. I'm going to live life with her and her alone.
Don't say that, please. It was seriously all my fault. I'm sorry. Your mom is also calling me now. Can you tell her that I'll be heading over now?
Why don't you just answer the phone? Don't try to use me like that now.
It's awkward. Have you considered the situation I'm in right now?
I don't give a shit. I'm going to get a divorce, but I'm going to make sure you pay for child support.
Wait, hang on. Divorce? We're not getting a divorce.
Yes, we are.
If we get a divorce, what's gonna happen about my plans to take over the subsidiary company? I have been working hard day in and day out to get that position.
That's why you married me, isn't it? I'm sorry to tell you now, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be called off.
Let's not get divorced. I love the both of you. Please reconsider this.
It's kind of funny how badly you're begging me now. I'm tired of all this. My dad has already talked to my grandpa. Apparently he's furious. I'm actually starting to calm down a little now. I'm more confused as to how I thought that marrying you would be a good idea.
Don't say that. Let's try this again.
You didn't care about your newborn daughter. You didn't care about your wife who just went through labor. You don't care about either of us, and you don't have any love for us. There's no way that I could spend my life with a man like that.
Okay, fine, but at least tell your parents
Tell them what?
that I didn't have any bad intentions towards you. So just keep letting me push forward on my job.
Why the hell would I do that? Actually, all of these texts, Mom is actually watching them too.
Huh? I'm sorry! I promise to change from here on out.
Yeah, I think you're a little too late, champ. By the way, she's going to be named Rose. You might want to start working hard to find another job so that you can think about feeding Rose and paying her child support, instead of thinking about your next meal. Later, asshole. Joe looked up where Caroline was staying the next day and headed to see her. He begged her parents for forgiveness and apologized to everyone. However, he didn't apologize to Caroline first. He apologized to her father first, which made everything worse. He was immediately chased out of the room. As a result, Joe was fired from his position at the company. He could have tried to sue for wrongful termination, but since the company was a family-run company, and he would have been chased off anyways. It didn't matter if he kept working because no one would be willing to work with him. It was clear that he would end up quitting anyway, so he just accepted the fact that he wouldn't be working there anymore. He currently pays child support while looking for a job. His handmade cooking every day tastes like loneliness.
So, Cammy, I understand your imbecile sister will be coming to the next family reunion? If I recall correctly, both of you are high school dropouts. This will be an excellent opportunity to see just how horrendously stupid your family is. I never quite understood why my son decided to marry you. But perhaps after he sees the two of you dunces in the same place, he'll come to his senses.
Good evening, Miranda. To answer your question, yes, my sister is planning on attending. And yes, we did both drop out of high school. However, my sister is a good person. I don't think she'll cause any problems for you.
You don't have to tell me that you don't think, Cammy. I'm already aware of that. Sometimes I almost feel bad for the two of you. It must have been difficult growing up in a family that hardly even had 2 pennies to rub together. Even being a big of a failure as you are, I'll bet both you and your sister make more money than your parents did combined. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm not the least bit interested in hearing your sob stories about your impoverished childhood. So, if you must talk, I'd appreciate it if you could at least say something that more educated people than yourselves would find interesting.
Well, we didn't really struggle all that much. I don't have any sob stories to tell in the first place.
You don't need to lie to me, Cammy. Rather, I should say that there's no point. I already know exactly what you are.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, though, what is wrong with that sister of yours? You've been married for months now, and yet she hasn't come by to introduce herself? Really, that's exceptionally rude of her. In any case, we'll finally get the chance to meet her soon. Now, my husband may tease her a bit for various reasons, including the obvious one that she's an imbecile. However, I want you to keep in mind that anything he says to you is your fault. Don't shoot the messenger, as they say. You can't complain when he points out simple truths about you.
Right. Well, my sister is out of the country pretty often on business. I haven't even seen her in several months, which is something that I believe I've explained to you before. So I don't know why you think it's rude for her to not have met you yet when she's been literally physically incapable of meeting you up until now.
I told you, Cammy, your uneducated lies won't work on me. If your sister hasn't come to meet you since your wedding, it's most likely because she doesn't think your wedding is important enough. Either that, or the two of you have always hated each other and she never intended on seeing you in the first place. Bitter sibling rivalries are common in lower class families. In any case, rude is rude. She should have made more of an effort to visit us. Goodness me, it's bad enough she's a high school dropout, but having no manners on top of that? Disgraceful. There are absolutely no redeeming factors to her at all.
It's interesting that you would say that, seeing as you haven't even met her yet.
Knowing you is enough. And you should know that you are a massive black spot on our otherwise noble family. Do not embarrass me when the family comes over. Do you understand me?
Yes, Miranda, I understand.
That was the funniest thing I've seen in ages! The way you screamed when my husband poured that cup of hot tea on your head, it was like something out of an old Saturday morning cartoon. I was right to invite you to come. The court jester is the perfect role for an idiot high school dropout like you.
I still can't believe what just happened. It would be one thing if it were an accident, but that was on purpose. I think he just gave me burns on my scalp and part of my face. It really hurts. I need to go find some ice or something.
I imagine it does hurt when you've been reminded of your place. You were such a rotten little upstart in there, bragging about your sister. So what if she's achieved a mediocre of success as a model? You're both still beneath us and should have maintained a proper attitude. How could you be so delusional about yourselves? Congratulations, you're slightly taller than the average woman. Oh, and I suppose maybe your sister might be considered pretty by some men with lower standards. That doesn't change the fact that the two of you are nothing but a couple of idiots and completely useless to society.
Miranda, you can mock me all you want. I can deal with that. But I will not stand for you insulting my sister.
What's that? Would you like another cup of tea? Apparently the first wasn't enough to make you understand. It's precisely that baseless pride in your sister that made my husband feel the need to teach you a lesson in the first place. No matter what either of you do, you will never be on the same level as my family. Once you made the decision to become a dropout, you tactically consented to bearing that title for the rest of your life. Other than you two, every single person in that room graduated from college, and prestigious ones at that. You marrying my son was the worst humiliation I have ever suffered in my life.
I am waiting for the part where you justify doing what you did to me, Miranda.
Shut your mouth. I don't need to justify anything to the likes of you. Now hurry up and get back in here right away. You have work to do. Thanks to you, my husband needs a fresh cup of tea, and he wants it right away. You've got some burns on your face? Oh, you poor thing. Your arms and legs still work. I hope you realize how much your misbehavior has ruined the atmosphere of what was a delightful afternoon. You will come before my husband, get on your knees, and apologize for your behavior this instant.
And if I refuse?
Then you will no longer be welcomed in this family.
I've met some stuck-up, elitist slime balls in my life, but you bring the term to a whole new level.
What did you just say to me?
That's it. I can't take this anymore. It's time I put an end to this charade and tell you the truth about who I am.
What on earth are you going on about? I already know exactly what you are. A pathetic, miserable, idiotic, useless high school dropout. And for that little outburst, you will apologize to me once you're done apologizing to my husband.
We'll see who's apologizing to who when the day is done.
Cammy, I am so terribly sorry for what I've done. I was incredibly rude to you. Please, dear, can't you find it in your heart to forgive an old woman's foolishness?
I do not need, nor do I want, an apology from you. What you've done to me is not something that you can fix with just an apology. The world isn't that simple of a place. And I'm not that forgiving of a person. So don't bother debasing yourself by groveling at my feet. It's not going to do you any good. I cannot deal with you, your husband, my husband, or anyone in that bile-infested cesspool you call a family any longer. I'm going home now. Oh, and I know how excruciating it is for you to have a filthy little high school dropout like me for a daughter-in-law, so you know what? I think I'll spare you any more grief and divorce your son. I'm so sorry for all the trouble I've caused you, but don't worry, I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
No, Cammy, don't! I take back all the nasty things I've ever said about you.
Is this how stupid all you fancy university graduates are? Because God in heaven, you are dense. You can't just take it back. Did you think life is like a social media post that you could just delete it if it doesn't get the reaction you expected? Well, you're too late. The damage is done. Your husband's assault, and yes, it was an assault, has left me with burns on about a third of my face. I'm on my way to the hospital now so they can examine me. Once they do, I'm going straight to the police and filing a report against you. And right after that, I am going to have a talk with my lawyer about what my next steps are going to be.
What? Police? Lawyer? Come now, Cammy! Don't you think you're blowing this out of proportion? We're family, you know? This was just a minor little family scuffle, that's all. These things happen all the time. We don't need to go getting the police or courts involved.
You might think that way, but unfortunately for you, I am not a pathetic pushover. I will go to the police about what you did to me, and that's final. Oh, and another thing? I am also going to talk to my lawyer about drawing up a set of divorce papers so I can break up with your son as soon as possible. So, within a few weeks, we're not going to be a family anymore.
Wait! Cammy, please. I had no idea that you were a millionaire real estate investor. Not only that, but you own the housing development where this very house is built. I mean, the only thing I ever heard about your work from my son was that you hardly ever work at all. He said you mostly just sit around looking at your laptop all day, so I figured you were unemployed.
Good grief, Miranda, what year is it? I don't need to leave the house to make money. All I need is a laptop and an internet connection, and I'm good to go.
Ah, yes, I suppose you're right. Technology is incredible these days, isn't it? But if you don't mind me asking, how on earth did you learn the investment skills you would need to amass that kind of fortune? I mean, you are a high school dropout after all.
Oh, thank you so much for reminding me. You haven't mentioned that in the last 5 minutes, so I almost forgot about that. Seriously, I've never met anyone with such a bizarre prejudice against high school dropouts as you in my life. Do you think I dropped out because I was too dumb to graduate?
Is there any other reason to drop out from high school?
I'm glad you asked. Yes, I had a very good reason to drop out of high school. It was a complete waste of time. When I turned 16, I had an epiphany. I had spent more than 10 years in the educational system, but I was learning more in my free time looking things up myself than when I was at school. That's when I thought to myself, why am I sitting in this concrete prison for 8 hours a day when I could be learning more by myself? And so I did just that. I dropped out and started just studying whatever I wanted to. My sister did the same thing for a slightly different reason. She wanted to be a model and start her own fashion brand and dropped out a little bit before I did. Do you get it now? We dropped out of our own volition.
So, you're not an idiot? You're actually quite intelligent?
Yeah, I guess you could say that, though I'd like to think that just about anyone is capable of doing what I did. Once they free themselves from the constraints of this country's educational system, that's it. I learned more from self-study and real-world experience than I ever would have if I finished my last few years of public education.
When you say it like that, it makes a good deal of sense. But if that's the case, why would you hide all of that from us? You were lying to us about who you really were this whole time. Don't you feel guilty at all about lying to your family?
Please, Miranda, everything I do is calculated, and that includes not letting you know my true identity.
What do you mean?
Ever since I became successful, I could see the people around me changing. It turns out there are actually a lot of people like you who change their tone based on how much money a person has. I started getting complimented more than I ever had before. People who never paid attention to me before suddenly became very interested in what I do and how I do it. That was a wake-up call. If people know that I'm wealthy, then they're not going to show me who they really are when they're around me. So I decided that I would start hiding that fact about myself and then see how people act towards me. Then I can know what kind of person they really are. That is why I never told you about myself. I was still judging whether you were the type of people I could let my guard down around.
I see. But you chose my son as your husband, right? That's wonderful. And my son chose to take you as his wife, too, despite you being a high school dropout. That must mean the two of you are truly in love with each other. I'm so happy for the both of you. You have a long life full of happiness ahead of you.
Yeah, about that. I'm not really one to toot my own horn, but... well, my sister is a world-famous model, right? She's objectively one of the most beautiful and desired women in the world. And, well, I'm her sister. We look quite a bit alike. We're both pretty long-legged and in good shape. And while I can admit Alana has a prettier face than me, we still have our sibling resemblance. Which is all to say that I have never had any trouble finding men who were interested in me, even without them knowing I have money. Your son and I became friendly, and yes, I agreed to marry him. But he was still on probation.
Probation? You mean to tell me you didn't fully trust him even after you got married?
I've been burned in the past by men I thought I could trust. I understand why you wouldn't think very highly of that, but it's basically a survival instinct for me. When we first got married, he was treating me pretty well, and I thought that maybe he was a genuinely nice guy. That didn't last very long, however. I gave him an airtight cover story about a job that allowed me to work from home, but he didn't believe me. He thought all the work-from-home jobs were for intelligent people, which, me being a stupid high school dropout, I couldn't possibly be. So he stopped doing any chores at all and spent all this time going to bars and nightclubs. His words to me were, if you're just going to lay around the house doing nothing all day and contribute absolutely nothing to this family, then I'm going to do whatever the hell I want with my money. To be honest, I've been getting pretty fed up with him lately.
Well, I know that it may not be my place to comment on someone else's relationship, but don't you think there's a possibility that you were both contributing to the difficulties between you?
Sure, that's definitely possible. However, he won't even talk to me about our problems. He says talking about feelings is for girls. How are we supposed to repair our relationship if he won't even talk to me? This marriage is a lost cause, and I am putting an end to it.
You can't just decide that on your own. You're a couple. You need to talk to each other. Something as big as a divorce should be a joint decision, not you simply forcing your will onto him.
Did you not just see me say that he won't talk to me? And besides, his attitude isn't the only reason I'm divorcing him. The way your entire family has treated me is utterly reprehensible, and I won't deal with it any longer. And then the second you learned I'm rich, all of a sudden you start treating me better. What a coincidence, right? You all disgust me. I gave you a chance and you threw it away, so I'm leaving. Now get out of my house.
Your house?
Your son told you he bought that house, didn't he?
Oh no. You mean he didn't actually buy it?
Nope, it was me. He just told you it was him and let you live there without my permission. Now that we're divorced, I have no reason to put up with you anymore, so I want you out.
You can't do this to us. We love this house. It's our home.
It was your home. But as of tomorrow, I'm selling it to the highest bidder, so get your things cleared out by morning. I hope you enjoyed your time living rent-free at my expense, because those days are over. You're going to have to take care of yourselves from now on.
Oh my God, Cammy, what is wrong with those people? Like, for real, what were you thinking marrying that guy? The whole family is the absolute worst.
You can say that again. I'm really sorry about yesterday, Alana. It was the first time you've been back in the country in forever, but it ended up being a total waste of time for you. But on a positive note, it's thanks to you that I now know exactly what sort of people they all are. I made my decision. I'm divorcing him and moving on with my life.
Oh, you're divorcing him? That's a huge relief. If you didn't say that, I was this close to having my security team go down and teach your husband some manners.
I would have paid money to see that happen.
It can still happen if you want, girl. Just say the word.
Nah, that's all right. He's going to get what's coming to him already.
If you say so, but the offer's on the table. By the way, sorry I couldn't go to the hospital with you. I had to go see somebody for work.
That's totally fine. My doctor said my burns shouldn't take too long to heal. He gave me some cream for it and said there shouldn't be any permanent scarring.
That's a relief. How would you get yourself a new man without that gorgeous face of yours? Okay, but for real, can we talk some more about how those people are literally the worst human beings on the planet? My charity just shut down a sweatshop in Asia that was run by nicer people than them. I mean, your father-in-law actually dumped a cup of hot tea on your head just because you're a high school dropout. And then your mother-in-law told you to go make him another cup? They're psychos, just straight up psychos, all of them.
It was great watching all their faces when you told them all about the businesses that you've started over the past few years. You could tell their brains were kicking into overdrive to find a reason to make fun of you in spite of your massive success.
And in the end, all that geezer would come up with was, well, I spent a solid week working on my doctoral thesis.
Right? As if that's even close to as impressive as anything you've accomplished in the last week.
I'm surprised you put up with that for as long as you did, though, Cammy. Didn't it hurt to have them mock you like that?
Honestly, I came close to feeling bad for them. Like, in the back of my mind, I was just thinking about how their brains were going to explode once I told them who I really was.
Okay, and one more thing. I was also waiting to see what you were planning to do about your husband before I told you this, but that guy is an absolute scumbag. And I'm not just talking about the way he was laughing right along while your mother-in-law was mocking you. Remember when he showed me where the bathroom was? He tried to hit on me while I was in the bathroom. Like, he was standing outside the door trying to put the moves on me.
No way.
Yes way. I'm really sorry, Cammy. It has to hurt, but I thought you deserved to know the truth.
You know, nothing he does hurts me anymore. Because the truth is, I actually found out recently just what kind of a scumbag he is.
Really? You don't mean?
Yep, it's exactly what you think. At first I thought he was just your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill jerk. But it turns out he's actually a grade A certified sleaze bucket.
Cammy, are you really going to divorce my son? He just came by our new house to tell us about it. I wish you could see how badly he's hurting right now. Listen, I know the two of you have been through some difficulties, but won't you please reconsider what you're doing?
Unsurprisingly, it seems like your son didn't tell you the whole story. He betrayed me, Miranda. He's been cheating on me for just about as long as we've been married, and I have all the evidence I need to prove it. I'm moving forward with divorcing him, and I am going to sue him to recover the money that he spent out of our joint savings account on his mistress.
You're suing him? But you can't honestly think you're innocent in all of this.
Excuse me?
It's clear that my poor son wasn't satisfied with you. If he were, then he wouldn't have had any reason to go after other women. You must not have been trying hard enough to win his favor. Either that or not paying enough attention to his needs as a man. You can't sue him for something that you drove him to.
Wow, that is some super duper intellectual legal analysis by you, Miranda. Unfortunately, it happens to be 100% wrong, however. The law is on my side, and I will sue both him and your husband, and I will win.
What? You're suing my husband too? Wasn't it enough that you filed a police report against him? They're telling him he has to report to the station for questioning now.
I fully intend to take advantage of every remedy afforded to me by the law. You're going down.
Cammy, can't we talk about this?
No. No good will ever come from talking to you crazies. If you have any questions or complaints, feel free to address them to my lawyer. And with that, I bid you adieu.
That's it? You're just going to walk out of our lives like nothing ever happened? How could you be so heartless?
You want to talk about being heartless, Miranda? Heartless is betraying your wife and spending all your time with your mistress. Heartless is a mother justifying her son's wanton infidelity. Me? I'm not heartless. Most people with a functioning moral conscience would look at what you and your son did to me and be furiously apologizing. You, however, are going for a slightly different strategy. The old try and guilt the victim into not getting justice for herself strategy. It's a bold move, but sadly, it's not going to pay off for you.
But Cammy, we lost our house because of you. Now you're suing my husband on top of that? I thought that if you would just relent on suing my son, we could rely on him to support us. But he'll never be able to afford to help us out when you're through with him. If anything, we'll be the ones who have to help him out. Someone's got to help him mend the broken heart you left him with.
He's still got his mistress, right? She can pick up the pieces for you. But as of now, I no longer have any reason to care how sad he is. He could have chosen the path of being a decent husband to me, and the payoff to him and you would have been astronomical. But instead, you all chose the path of derision, mockery, betrayal, and violence. And now you're getting the punishment you deserve.
Isn't it punishment enough for us to lose our house? None of us thought this would happen, Cammy. We were totally caught off guard. You don't have to do anything for us ever again, but please don't abandon my son.
You're wasting your time, Miranda. The world isn't as convenient a place as you think it is. All of you have done terrible things to me that you can't take back. Seriously, you opened this conversation by trying to convince me that I was the one at fault for my husband cheating on me.
I apologize, Cammy, for everything. I apologize as many times as you want. So please forgive us.
Your son already tried to come crying to me, and you're not going to do any better than he did. I have no need for a cheating man and his evil family. My now ex-husband was crying his eyes out during the entire meeting with my lawyer. It didn't even faze me. Once our divorce was finalized, I immediately launched my lawsuits against all of them and kicked them out of my house. They tried to use squatters' rights to keep living there, but it wasn't going to work. When my husband's mistress found out they'd been caught, she immediately broke up with him and disappeared. So when they became homeless, loveless, and deep in debt, did the lovely family come together and support each other in their time of need? Of course not. They started blaming each other and had a big blowout fight, and all went their separate ways. And with that, the story of my brief yet eventful marriage comes to an end. It felt really good taking down a family full of scuzzy losers like them. So don't feel bad about me for having to deal with all that trouble. It's all behind me now. I'm just as optimistic as ever about the bright future ahead of me.
Trey, what time are you coming home tonight?
I don't know. I got so much work to do.
I see. I'll cook something really nice for you, okay?
You're so lucky.
Huh?
You always have so much time on your hands and you never have to work late. You seem so happy all the time.
What? That's not true. I work late sometimes.
Yeah, right.
I try to be as efficient as possible, that's all.
You saying I'm not being efficient enough?
No, that's not what I said. The point is, I work hard too.
It's nothing compared to me.
Maybe, but that's why I cook for you and stuff.
I guess. Man, I wish my life was easy.
What does that mean? I've had my share of hardships, you know.
Oh, but still, your job seems really easy. I envy that. I gotta work late every day. I never have time for myself, you know?
I guess, but
Whatever. Just have dinner ready when I get back. That's what you're good for anyway.
what's your problem? I'm gonna stay at my place tonight.
Come on, I was just joking.
I wanted to talk to you about our trip next week, but you seem busy today, so maybe some other time.
Oh, right, the trip to your parents' house. It's been like 2 years already, so it's about time.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, by the way.
You don't have a dad, right?
Right. It was just me and my mom. Oh, and my grandpa lived with us.
I see, that must have been tough.
Not really. At least for me. They both took good care of me, so I'm really grateful for that.
I see, but they must have broke. Wait, you're not marrying me for the money, are you?
What? Seriously? And, I never said anything about getting married.
Oh, well, it's just that you asked me to go say hello to your mom, so I just assumed. And to make a lot of money, so the company I work for is huge, so I just thought maybe you're trying to marry me for my money?
Trey, I had no idea you were like this.
What? No, I'm just saying it's possible, you know?
What the hell is wrong with you? Whenever I cook for you, I pay for everything. Would I do that if I was dating you for the money? And we always split our bills when we eat out. And when did I ever ask you for money, huh? And how dare you talk about my family like that? And why do you assume I want to marry you?
You've got a point. Whatever, I'll make a decision after I meet your mom.
Decision for what?
The marriage. If you're after my money, then I'm out. And what if your mom gets old and sick? I don't want to pay for retirement.
Wow. You're unbelievable. I had no idea you were like this.
I'm just saying, money is important, especially when it comes to marriage. And your grandpa, he must be really old. You gotta think about him too.
No need.
What?
I'm not marrying you, so don't worry about it.
What? You mad now? Look, we're adults here. I'm just saying.
I'm done. It's over.
What?
I'll never marry you. Ever. We're done.
Aren't you overreacting a bit? We're good together. Just chill out.
Don't tell me to chill out.
What?
All those horrible things you said about me and my family. How dare you?
I'm sorry if I upset you. I didn't mean to. I just assumed you guys were broke, that's all.
You just assumed, huh? What the hell is wrong with you?
Oh, why are you so mad? You might not want to hear this, but you need me to provide for you.
Ugh. I'm done here. Forget it.
Tell me, be honest, were you dating me for the money?
What? Seriously? Tell me this. Do you remember how we met?
Huh? You came to the office for some meeting and you were lost, so I showed you directions.
Yeah. My grandpa asked me to deliver some documents to your office.
Huh? Your grandpa works here? He must be like 90 years old. What department is he in?
He's not in any department. He's retired now, actually. But they still ask him to come into meetings and stuff. He's the chairman.
What?
And my mom? She's the CEO.
What?
So yeah, we're not broke. Thanks for your concern, though.
Listen, I didn't mean to offend you. I was just asking to make sure. Listen, I'll be home as soon as possible. Can we just talk about this?
Huh? I thought you were working late.
What can wait? Let's grab something to eat.
You don't have to do that.
Don't worry, you're the most important thing to me, Molly. Come on, let's talk about our wedding over dinner or something.
What?
But wait, if we get married, that means I'll be the next CEO, right? That's exciting. We got a lot to talk about. And about the trip, why don't we go this weekend? I'll go by myself if you're busy.
What are you saying? Like I said before, we're done.
What? No, we're getting married!
No. After all those things you said about my family? I don't think so. I never want to see you again. Ever. Get out of my life.
Look, I'm sorry. I messed up. I admit, okay? Come on, let's just start over. I already left the office.
No. You should go back to the office. If you don't finish your work on time, my mom won't be happy, LOL. And besides, you never even proposed to me, so...
I will. Actually, I just bought a ring. Where are you?
Huh? Did you not hear me? We're done.
Stop saying that. You know how much this ring cost me? But you're gonna be the wife of the next CEO of the company, so you're gonna love it.
Next CEO? My mom is still running things around here. What on earth are you talking about?
Oh, I know that. I'm just talking about the future. Look, I love you, okay? I want to marry you.
Wow. You're unbelievable. You know that?
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. I was just really tired from work, that's all. I'm sorry. Come on, let's move in together.
I told you no.
If you don't say yes, I might lose my mind and do something crazy. You sure you want to play like this?
What? You're threatening me now? That's it. I didn't want to do this, but I'm telling my family about you.
Huh? What? Why?
Because you just threatened me.
What? No, I didn't.
And my mom, she actually knows you. You're one of her employees, so she told me a lot about you. You're always on your phone during work. That's why you never get things done. That's why you're always working late. She told me everything. She was planning to fire you, actually. But I asked her to stop because you were my boyfriend.
Wait, what?
Oh well, doesn't matter anymore. Looks like you're finished. This sucks for you.
Hold on. I'm sorry, okay?
But hey, at least you'll now have more free time. Good luck finding your next job. Trey got transferred to some dead-end position in the middle of nowhere after that. It was either that or quit. But getting a job was harder than ever, so he decided to stick with his job. He could no longer work overtime. His pay was cut in half, and the ring he bought for Molly, he managed to sell it off, but he still ended up losing a lot of money. Molly never saw him after that. A few years later, she met someone and got married.